Okay, we are live. This is Attorney Vince Davis, and this is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm Attorney Vince Davis, and I'm joined tonight by a very special guest, Miss Beatrice Morales. Hello, Miss Morales. How are you?
Oh, hello, Mr. Davis. Very nice meeting you. I watch all your videos.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lots.
Do you watch them on
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes, all of them for more than a year and a half, probably.
Make sure that you like and subscribe.
Oh, you're right. I did. I was watching from my TV. I don't watch it from my from my telephone, but I will. I will. I think I subscribed a while ago. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, very good. I wanted to mention to our producer, Grace, that Miss G is having some technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Grace, maybe you can help her out. But while you're doing that, let's start the show, Beatrice. So, um, you must have some CPS issue.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell me about it?
Yes. Okay. So my son and his wife neglected the child, and I was living in Texas at the time. The first time they took the baby was 2 years old, but then they were in Colorado, and I was in Texas. But I knew there were problems, but I was far away. So her parents took care of the baby in Kansas. So, but they will always come to Colorado to bring the child with them. They were very manipulative. And then maybe for a year they had the child, the parents, the other grandparents. But one of the times that they wanted to take a vacation, they left the baby with them without any orders. So I was in Texas, and my son said, "We got the baby," blah, blah. So I didn't know the part, so I was happy. But then they told me the truth, that they left him, and the social worker found out, and they kind of got in trouble. And then I moved to Colorado in maybe in 2020, beginning of 2020. I'm sorry, in 2019. I started working in Colorado because I thought I knew there was problems, and I wanted to come closer to them. And so I visited them personally, so I found out that they were not okay, neither one of them. I was the one that called the social services the second time. So they removed my grandson, and I was in contact with them constantly. And since the beginning, even prior to that, from Texas, I would talk to other social worker, and I was considered for permanency. I applied for that in case my grandson needs a place to stay. So I made the effort to buy a house, not in Colorado because it's too expensive, but I found a place an hour away from Colorado that I can buy a house because I said, I'm going to fight for my grandson and have my grandson. So I fixed my house. Even the social worker knew about it. Everybody knew the gal. They came to visit me. And the gal made possible for 6, 7 months. She told me they have to do as ICPC, right? Because I'm in Nebraska, and the situation was in Colorado. So they did that, but they gave me the runaround. The months and months passed, and then finally, one day, knock on my door, and there was a lawyer for my grandson, the gal, and he said, "I want to meet you." I said, "Oh, come in, come in." He said, "I want to meet you because we want to do this permanency for my grandson." I'm sorry, and they're not gonna have the baby. It's a trophy for them, and we want to know. He told me, "I want to know. Would you like to adopt your grandson?" I said, I, you know, I thought they are trying to get their child. That was the first time he said to me after 8 months after they took the baby the second time. And he said they are not going to have their parental rights reinstated. They're going to terminate parental rights. Like this was like a year before the TPR. I said, really? Yeah, no. So if you want him, because the foster parents want to adopt him, or you want to adopt him? I said, I want my grandson. So, okay, good. So he made possible in the same week after the social work gave me a runaround. So he made possible that he would come and visit me several times. He came and visit. And in one of the visits, the social worker said that my grandson said that I let my son seeing him unsupervised. So she told me on the telephone, she called me one day and told me that. I said, that's not true. I said, that's not true. He's a 4-year-old. He said he saw his dad, but he will see him in Zoom. I had to have the visits, for the parents, like they do on Zoom, whatever. So I complained to her. I said, that didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. And then I continue sending emails. I said, when am I going to see my grandson again in Zoom? So she will give me, for 2 months, she didn't answer my emails. And then I was complaining to the Department of Social Services, the director, the other, anybody that I could, nobody will answer me. Finally, one day she sent me an email, very clear, and I have a copy of that. She says, you are not considered for permanency any longer because you allow your son see your grandson, and the gal is very upset, and the judge, and they are all concerned. And I said, never happened. So I didn't know what to do. I was looking for lawyers. Nobody wanted to take the CPS case. There was nobody. I called like 20 lawyers. Plus, anyways, after that, unfortunately, after 4 or 5 months,
Beatrice,
yes,
hold on.
Sure.
What state were you in when you were calling for attorneys?
In Colorado. Yeah.
Okay, in Colorado. Okay,
yeah, I was trying to. Yes, and then I called many places. Fortunately, you have no knowledge, so regular lawyers, and then the legal service. But legal service don't deal with that. That's a different situation. They deal with other things. And so I was very frustrated, very depressed, a lot of anxiety. I was actually had a therapist for the past year because I was in PTSD and all this stuff. And then after, prior to, after the emails that she refused to have visitations with me, with my grandson, the lawyer came by one day and appeared to my house, to the gal. And he said, are you ready for your grandson? He said, yes, I am. I am. Okay, yeah. And my son was here at that time because he got a problem with his kidneys. So he was staying for a while, he got divorced. So I was taking care of him. He was very thin, really not well. And he said, oh, you're here. He says, yeah. But then my son went to the bedroom and he started talking to me. He said, are you ready for, she's not allowing me to have a Zoom visits. I complained to him, but my son is here. He got his visits once a week or twice a week. I think he got it in Zoom. You get in there, Beatrice. You get in there, don't worry. So I'll try to, for 20 minutes, I'll steal 2 minutes. Hi. But then she, like I said, in an email, she told me that, and I didn't know what to do. If I wouldn't know what to do, I should have been going to court or do something to say that she's not, she's accusing me of something I didn't do. But TPR occurred after 5-6 months. Because of you, I learned to file a motion to intervene because I didn't know. So I wrote it down. So that's what I did. And prior to that, maybe, I think it was just before, just in the time that she denied me that, I learned from you. So I appealed, and the judge allowed me. So I could go to court and hear the whole proceedings. And then in the TPR, I went there too. So the TPR somehow, I don't know how happened, but I see if somebody wants to be a witness or something, they said, because there are 2 days in a row there was a TPR. And I raised my hand. I remember asking the lawyer for my grandson. I said, do you think I can be a witness? He said, yeah, you raise your hand. And I raised my hand, thank God. And I know it's not my case, but at least she allowed me the second day to be a witness. So I was in the stand, and they asked me questions. And the judge asked me all kinds of questions. Of course, the social worker never said, oh, she let her son, because it's a hearsay, and I understand that. It's not a true fact. Anyway, she didn't bring that up, but they were asking me a lot of questions. And the judge at the end, she asked the social worker I don't know how they say that, recommendations, so they asked about that. And she said, oh, we would like him to stay with a foster parent that they've been 2 years there, almost a year or something a year. And she raised her hand, the judge. The foster parents are not here. Miss Morales is here. And he can have permanency with a paternal grandmother. She's a reliable and credible witness. And I don't believe she allowed her son seeing Besides, you cannot take a 4-year-old word. That's a hearsay. That's what she said. And after that, the last day of the TPR, the lawyer that the guy pretended to be my friend, he said, "Oh, Beatrice, call me. We'll be in touch. And this and that. You want to come and visit him? I'll make arrangements." Just a lie, just to buy time. I think I realize it's all buy time for me to put me in not finding anybody helping me. And since he told me that day, after 2-3 weeks, I wrote him an email to the gal, and I asked him. I said, "When am I going to see my grandson? You told me that you're gonna arrange some visits to go to the foster parents. Tell me, because I'll travel 2 hours to see him." Then after a week, he answered me, "Oh, I read your emails. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna talk to the social worker. Give me time and hang in there." And I had his email. So I complained to the Department of the Colorado the ombudsman, and they didn't find nothing wrong, because I think I complained about the visits. I never complained about what she said or what she did. So now you mentioned I just wrote a letter to the Justice Department. So they haven't. They said that they're gonna call me or whatever. So I don't know. So I don't know what to do now, because the TPR occurred already last October, and I was holding myself, thinking, "Oh yeah, I can." I learned from you. Maybe I was learning about the civil case for almost a year. I knew everything about that, pretty much. And then one of your videos said that mentions that that doesn't get reversed what my grandson, where he's at, to come here. So I didn't want to do the civil case. So I said, what can I do now? Because the mother appealed, but I don't know why she appealed, because they failed miserably in everything. They lied, they found drugs, and they did nothing that they did wrong. They gave every opportunity for them to get their child back. I know that. And you mentioned that if there's something, an inconsistency or something that they found out that they did wrong, right? The judge or the social worker, they didn't do nothing wrong. They did everything to help them. So is anything that I can do now? I mean, my grandson is for adoption, probably. They're going to adopt him. And I have proved that I fought that social worker, and the God knew I was fixing my house for him. I put money in my house more because I wanted to have him here. They knew all this stuff, everything. All the sacrifice. I was working 100 hours a week, taking care of elderly people at nights, and they knew all about it. I don't know. I tell the truth, I went through a lot of PTSD and anxiety. I have it for a year, counseling, because I was devastated by all that horrible emotional roller coaster. My son too, or him, sometimes has come and called me for money and this and that, and I have helped him so much since the baby was born. I was in his life all the time. So it's tough. It's very hard. At this point, I feel like I lost everything. So I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know. I would like to see a judge to see my case, but I don't know what can I do. I really don't. I don't think I can do anything anymore. What is your advice?
Beatrice,
Anything on the...
well,
Yes.
let me ask you a few questions, first of all.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But before I do that, and I'm going to do that, I want to ask Miss G something. Miss G, what do you think about Beatrice's story? Is it something that you hear frequently?
I need a little bit. I didn't hear everything because I was having problems with my camera. But I assume you're the paternal grandmother, right?
Yes, yes.
And you try to get custody of your grandchildren?
Yes, I was involved from the beginning.
Right. So the social worker took the how many kids from your son?
Oh, just one. The only
one.
son.
Okay. So that one child been in foster care for how long?
Now 2 years, but it's because of I was fighting almost more than a year to have him here.
Yeah, but you didn't fight from the beginning of the
But
case.
they denied. From the beginning, yeah, from the beginning, yeah. I didn't have a lawyer, yeah.
But you said he's been in the system for 3
Yeah, I was
years,
no,
right?
almost 2 years. But I was fighting from the beginning. Yeah, I got the ICPC to have him here. I went through all the ICPC. They passed me and everything like that. And then she said that I had my son's visiting with my grandson at the visits. That's why she discontinued the visits, because I
Right.
was considered for permanency. I was an intervener in the case from the beginning. Yes.
Okay. When she said because you have your son visiting the baby, but did they tell you verbally it's okay to do that? Did the social worker tell you verbally it's okay for your son to see the child as long as you're there?
No. I knew that they could not have visits with the parents. My grandson was having visits on Zoom, and a 4-year-old, my grandson said, I saw my dad. So that's what she accused me, that I let my son. I say that didn't happen.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Beatrice, hear that a lot
Yeah.
because they don't do
Yeah.
thorough investigation. What they do is they
Yes.
take one child's word and they
Yeah.
twist it to a complete different
Yes.
story than what really happened.
Yes.
Therefore,
Yes.
yes, they do this all the time. You're not the only
Yes.
grandparent. My grandfather cried to Vincent today and me because he loves
Yes.
his grandchild, and it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. But the children, the younger the children are, the more susceptible they are to go into foster homes to be adopted
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
usually are put into adoptive homes.
Yes, I
My
know.
opinion, you should have hired an attorney from day one.
I know. I know. I know. I could not find anybody.
In your head, they convinced you that your home is going to be approved. You have a chance to get your grandchild with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they do. They
Yeah.
give you
Yeah.
breadcrumbs
Yeah.
just to keep your mind away from hiring an attorney. That's the strategy they use.
Exactly. That's right.
They give you
Yes, I know.
breadcrumbs.
I learned all that stuff now.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's what they do,
I,
Beatrice.
but do you listen to my when I was in the TPR? The judge asked me a lot of questions, and she said that she doesn't believe, that I let my grandson see his father at all. That's not. She cannot believe. They cannot accept that, believing that a 4-year-old said that I allow him to see my grandson. So she says she's reliable, Miss Morales, and I will something like that. In that, I don't remember which is advice or suggest that he can have permanency with his paternal grandmother. But nobody. I mean, I know it's not my case because it was a TPR, but the judge said that. So is there anything I can go to court and show the transcripts from that, or
Who adopted
what
the
happened?
child? Who adopted the
Pardon
child?
me?
Who?
No, he's not adopted yet.
Wait,
Oh,
who?
the foster parents. The
Okay, so
foster parents.
the foster parents wants to adopt, right?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay, so did your son lose her parental rights?
They both lost their parental rights, but she appealed. She appealed, and she said the mother. Next month she's going to court, she said. And in Colorado is one of the states that they reinstate. They said that. So I don't know how is that. But what I learned is that unless they did something wrong, I don't think they did something wrong. The social workers or everybody tried to help them. So, but they always, every 6, pardon me? Yes.
Where's the case at again?
Pardon me?
Where is the case at?
What?
What?
Oh,
what
in Colorado. In Colorado. In Sterling, Colorado. Sterling, Colorado. Sterling.
Yeah. So, okay. So.
And also, I wanted to point out that every 6 months, they are looking for family members. They send me the letters still. I even left a message to the social worker. I don't want to talk to her. I said, why are they doing that? That's causing me more anxiety to me. So if they really adopted my grandson, that's like a year and 2 months that happened, the TPR. Why are they sending these letters? Even to my brothers that live in Texas, they send them that they are not good people. So it's like giving the kid. I don't know what's going on, but I kind of like have the hope, like Mr. Vince said, that this can change things or drastically from every week. I don't know. Hopefully they don't want Giovanni, but I don't know they don't find another foster care. I am waiting for my grandson for the past, he was visiting me last year still, but I had visited, but then they stopped. I don't know what to do.
But this is just a warning for everyone out there.
But
grandparents, you guys get hope from the social workers to get your grandchildren back. So again, that is only to cripple you, or not to cripple you, I guess to not hinder. What am I trying to say? Oh my God. To stop you from
holding you.
Holding you. It's like holding
That's what I learned.
Because they don't want you to have.
Yes.
Think about it. If they went and told you, you know what, Beatrice, we're not going to have your grandchildren ever. What are you going to do? If they said that from day one, you're going to go get an attorney, right? But they want you not to get an attorney until the last minute.
To hold.
That's when Beatrice find an attorney.
Yes.
And that's when it's going to cost way more.
I know. Now,
and it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
That's why they do what they do.
If I wouldn't know what I know now, yes. Yeah.
Right. And I tell everybody this is the strategy that they use.
And I understand that. And I even send because I'm not a lawyer, so I sent even after the TPR, I sent to the judge a visitation for my grandson, and I know it's not right, but I sent that thinking that I will be able to see the judge maybe, and I'm wrong, of course. So I don't know what to do. I would love to see a motion, anything that I can. I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what to do. I really don't have any money to go see a lawyer. I live in fixed income right now. I'm retired, so it's not too much I get now. So,
and they know.
But I bought my house cash. Yeah,
they actually know this. They actually know all of that. They know that you can't hire, attorneys. They know. That's why they take advantage of the public. But when they find out that, like for example, we had a grandfather that can afford us.
Yeah.
When the social worker found out, she was shocked. She was so nice to the grandfather, trying to discourage him that everything is going to be okay. The attorney.
Yeah.
He called me and said, well, I think they're nice to me now. I said, well, it's only temporary. But why weren't they nice to you before you?
Yeah.
Right? So again, they try to trick people and to smooth talk people into discouraging them from getting an attorney.
Yes. So, I believe that. Well, the guy too, after TPR, the same day in court, he said, oh, I'm going to make a arrangement so you can see your grandson. I said, really? Yeah, you want to come and visit there? Like that, I even complained about the Colorado, I don't know what is that overseas the gals. They sent me a letter that he didn't do nothing wrong. So I said, do you think he didn't do nothing wrong? Kind of like entangling me thinking of something's cruel. It's very cruel, But who's gonna, it's very cruel. It's a lot of suffering, PTSD and anxiety. I get a little better because I have counseling, but it's terrible. Just, I don't trust anybody anymore.
Make sure you tell your son not to have any kids in the same county. Or the same state, rather, because if they have more children in the same state, because usually they would take that child from him too. If he had a child with another mother, they will take that child from your son.
Oh no, they don't. Yeah, really? Wow. But they're not having kids.
I'm just letting you know.
No, I know. They live in Nebraska too. Yeah. They live in Nebraska now. They moved close. I don't see really, but they live in Nebraska. Actually, a house is going to be for sale, and they left Colorado since they took the baby. They moved out of there. They don't want nothing to do with it.
My God, they should have left the country.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really terrible.
Tell them to go to.
You know what? I should have done that myself. I wanted. Yeah, but he's. The baby's in foster care now. I mean, they kind of like gave up on everything. But she appealed, but I don't know either next month she's gonna start having she got a lawyer, the mother. I don't know what's going to happen, but is there anything else I can do? Nothing.
Well, you need a good
Mr.
appellate attorney that knows the
Appellate
specific.
attorney. Oh, wow.
Yeah, a good appellate attorney. Not just any attorney can do the job. You need a good appellate attorney
Oh, wow.
that's been doing cases like this for years. We're talking about over 30 years experience.
Beatrice, can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, I know, I'm not. I talk to a lawyer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, Mr. Davis.
Did you say
Yes.
that you made a complaint to the Department of Health and Human Services?
Yes.
Did you do it in writing online?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And when did you send that in?
In writing online, yeah.
No, I said.
Oh, wow. Maybe I think I did made it last year. That was the ombudsman. That's not the same?
No.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh! Is that the Department of Justice?
No.
That's the one? I did it.
No.
I did it like about a month ago. No, either. Oh.
You know, I think Beatrice is having some problems with her connection because she's freezing up audio.
Oh, hello? Hello? Oh, really? Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
I can hear you.
My question is, did you file an online complaint with the Department of Health and Human Services at hhs.gov? You did?
Yes. I haven't had an answer yet.
Do you have a copy of what you filed? You don't?
No.
May I ask why you don't have a copy of it?
I just filled the form on the internet, so I mean online, and I send it, and they say they will get back to me, something like that. That's what I have. I haven't had an email or call. Nobody has called me yet. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Should I do another one? I don't know.
No. If you've done it already, Miss G, any other questions or comments for Miss Beatrice?
I don't.
Okay. Miss Beatrice, I want to thank you for appearing tonight as a guest. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. The only possibility that I see for you in trying to turn this around is probably some type of federal civil rights lawsuit. And I'm not saying that will work 100% of the time, but that's the only possibility that you have. You might also be able to make a motion if they have this in that state, because they have it in California. You can try to make a motion to set aside the orders not placing the child with you.
They have lots of motions.
Based upon fraud. It seems that the social worker, from what you've said, has committed some type of fraud, and based upon that, the social worker's recommendation shouldn't be followed. But here's the other thing, Beatrice. You're going to have to find an attorney in Colorado who's going to be able to help you. Okay? You can't do it by yourself.
There will be no. What is the motion that you call the motion that you said before? Motion to set aside. What is that?
I'm talking about California. I'm licensed in California. You can file a motion to set aside the termination based upon fraud of the social worker. They said that the child said that you let the child see the father, which I don't know what the big deal is unless there was an order that the father can't see the child, and that you were notified of that order. A lot of times, sometimes
there was She
They hold it.
said that, exactly. She said that, yeah.
All right. Okay, Beatrice, I want to thank you again for appearing and sharing with us. Keep us posted. All righty.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Bye-bye. Okay, Miss G. What do you think?
She's not gonna get that child back. It's too late. The case is coming to an end, and she doesn't even know if her son is gonna win the appeal or not.
Yeah.
It's appeals are like not even 50-50. It's like very small window to win an appeal if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I feel very sorry for her because she's trying to do things that she can't do by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there may be some, slight language barrier. She did a lot more talking than listening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, I was trying to tell her some things and she kept talking. Maybe it was a tough technical difficulties with the live stream. She seemed to have a bad connection or slow connection, and she was freezing up a little bit. So that might have been it as well. If she gets in touch with you or me, let's try to keep in contact with her. And if we know any attorneys in Colorado we can refer her to, that might be able to help her. Anyway.
The problem is attorneys don't want to they're not going to take on a state case for free. I already spoke to a couple of attorneys in Colorado, and they told me that, or was it Oregon? I can't remember. It was somewhere out of state. They said that usually when they don't want to take the case, because they don't have money, they'll say we're overfilled, we're full, we have too many cases. But that's what he said. He said because sometimes he doesn't know how to tell them, you know what, I'm not going to take a case pro bono. So he'll just tell them we have so many cases already, we can't take on another case. And I said, is that a normal thing? And me and him were talking and laughed about it. And he said, well, he said that's the nice way for an attorney to do it. I said, I have never turned away a case before, ever. And he said, well, he didn't know what to say to me. But usually he told me nobody's going to handle a state case pro bono because he told me they already have their pro bono. So they already have a free attorney. So why would they expect to come to an office who doesn't get paid by the state, right? How are they going to make a living?
I had an interesting interaction with a prospective client, and he lived in another state. I'm in Los Angeles, California area. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he lived in like Indiana or Minnesota or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, we had some interactions, and I told him, what I thought he should do. And he, one of them was find an attorney there. And he insisted that he wanted to hire me. Mm-hmm. And, I told him it's just too cost prohibitive for you to hire me to go to Indiana to do a case. Mm-hmm. Or whatever state he was in. Mm-hmm. And he didn't understand that. He said, well, you don't care about kids. And I was like, what do you mean? Just because I won't represent you?
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
And I said, well, it's not like you're in Los Angeles and your case is in Los Angeles and you're down the street and around the corner, right? Or that the courthouse is, 30 minutes away. I said, you're in another state. I said, who's going to pay for the airplane ticket to come there? Round trip, the hotel room, the Uber, the food, He said, well, I thought you would pay for that. And, I asked him why. He says, well, don't you want to help people?
Wow.
And I said, oh, yeah, I want to help people, but I don't want to go broke doing it. And I don't know if he was trying to bully me or pressure me. I think he was just serious. That's what he
was
really
trying to bully you. Yeah, he was trying to make you feel guilty.
I don't know. I got the feeling that he was serious, and this was something that he had never really thought about, but it wasn't his problem. Getting me there is not his problem.
You know why? Because I'll tell you what the other attorney told me. He said, some people, because the state provides them with free attorneys, they're spoiled. But the free attorneys are not doing what they need to do to win the case for them. So he told me, he said, if you go to to McDonald's and buy a burger, it's going to taste completely different than, a burger from Beverly Hills, organic, grass-fed cow, $30 is a burger, right? He said, you get what you pay for. And you said that a million times, and I know that. But unfortunately, they want free because they can't afford it and they're desperate. So I don't blame the parent, I blame the state. I really do. Because they're not hiring competent attorneys to actually give them pro bono work. I mean, give them work on their case pro bono and doing the right thing for them, right? I mean, I see that they're lacking. They're not fighting for their clients. They're always convinced. It's like they convince themselves their client is guilty before they even know the real story. So I blame the state. I mean, me personally, but
it's definitely a system that needs some revamping to it. But what's the answer? Who's going to pay for it? Etc. Etc. Etc.
I think the state, if that's the case, instead of hiring pro bono attorneys, I think the state should elect attorneys, like have the parent pick the attorney, and the state would refund that attorney for the services. That's what I think. Why do they want an attorney specifically that works with the state only? If you really think about it, it's because they want to brainwash them to convince the parents to cooperate with the social workers. And I've heard this from so many attorneys. They want to convince the social workers to work with their attorneys.
You mean the parents? The parents.
I'm sorry, the parents. I apologize. Yeah. They want to convince the parents to work with the social workers, rather. So that's why. But if they hired you, for example, and the state paid you, then you can't tell them to cooperate with the social workers.
I want to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
The system you just described is very close to the system LA County had 30 years ago.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Although you didn't get to pick your attorney, but your attorney was a private attorney and would work on your case.
Mm-hmm.
And then the county, the state, would pay that attorney based upon the attorney's bill or summary of work. The problem came in where there were some abuses with that system, just with any system. And in order to save money, they went to the current system that they have now, where it's a law firm based, that's providing these services under a set contract, and they don't get any more for doing extra work. There's no incentive, financial incentive. See, before, when you were an attorney and you wanted to fight really hard on a case and you worked more hours, the county would pay you. The judge, you'd bill the county, the judge would review the bill and authorize it or not authorize it, or authorize, 90% of it or 50% of it, whatever it was. But now the attorney there's no incentive for working harder on the case. And I've mentioned this book many times. It was required reading when I was in law school the first year, and it's called The Economic Analysis of the Law. I don't think people understand the economic ramifications of how money influences our court process.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it's bad or good. It's just that's the way it is. What did one of my clients told me the other day? It is what it is, Mr. Davis. Now, if you want to give people, or lawyers a financial incentive, the question becomes, who's going to pay for that? Taxpayers?
Well, how are they paying for the attorneys now? They're still making good money.
Yeah, but if you can, and the funny thing was, I don't think it really saved the county that much, ended up saving the county that much, because there were a lot of administrative overhead and things that they didn't have when they had private attorneys just working for themselves. But everything has to be paid for.
No, I understand that.
But where are they going to, the question becomes, where are they going to get the money? There's a limited amount of money, right? And you're being a very conservative, Republican. You don't like the government to spend more than they have. You want a balanced budget. Well, if you're going to pay attorneys more money, and who wants to pay attorneys more money, where are you going to get the money from?
Well, first of all, let me correct you on one thing. I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. I am an
I'm sorry.
Voter. I vote for whoever I see fit.
Okay. I stand corrected. I thought, you were a Trumper. I thought you were a Republican.
I said Trump was a lot better option than what we have now.
Oh, I'm not condemning you. Half the country is Republican, half the country is Democrat. That's not what I'm saying. But generally, the theory is, you control government spending, right?
And that's how it should be.
And here it is. But here's what it is. If you're a politician, are you going to spend more money to protect parents who have allegedly abused their kid? The answer is knee-jerk reaction, probably not. But what I don't think people realize, think they realize what's happening when kids are separated from their parents. You have more crime, and you're spending more money, for healthcare because of drug addictions and things of that nature. There was a startling statistic, and I forgot what it was, so I'm not even going to say the number, but there's a large percentage of children in the foster care system that will end up in the criminal justice system. Yeah. And when we think about it, why is that?
Because they're traumatized, and they result to drugs. They're abused. They're not understood. See, the state, first of all, let me just give you the number. I did the research on that. 72% of jailed people are from foster home. From a previous CPS case, foster home kids.
Is it that high?
72.
I'm shocked.
No, that is not high, but
72%. That's extremely high.
72%, yeah, are foster home kids. And the problem with the system is that when I know this because I'm a mom. My mom used to tell me, I just never understood it because she used to worry about me. Where are you? Come home, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a big girl. I'm not going to do anything wrong. But it's a mother thing, right? The mother worries about her child. Why? Because from birth, the umbilical cord is connected to the child. When you remove a child from their mom, that child is not balanced, even if it's an infant, because he or she is looking for the mother. They smell the mother. They smell her. Just that's all they need to feel safe. When you take that baby from their mom, that baby is missing something. There's a connection that's gone. And that's why kids don't grow up normal. Yeah. Because that connection is missing.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. And that's the only thing. But fathers, I respect. Like I said, I love my dad with all my heart. He was my hero. However, even my dad gave respect to my mom, like your mom does everything. Your mom does everything. Your mom is there. I go to work. Your mom is there. So it's kind of, the connection wasn't between me and my dad at first. The love was connected with my mother. That's why mothers are so important.
Right.
And that's why I believe that if a mother is an alcoholic, for example, right? I'm just giving you an example, and say she had too much to drink and CPS was called. They should invest that money from the federal government to get that mother help. Now, if that mother does it again after she receives help, then yes, I understand, you know what, she's not really taking this serious. I get that. But don't just strip the child from the mom just because unfounded allegation. You can't do that. It's very hard, but because of the money coming in so fast and so much, the state likes it. The counties like it. 92 point something billion a year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot of money. And then
Right.
they fund the foster homes, more money. 2,700 I found out in LA County they get for a child.
Yeah.
So why not put that money for the mom? If the mom doesn't have a home, she's on the street, why not find her a home? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Find them housing?
You know, a lot of people disagree with this, lawyers, I mean, but in the Welfare and Institutions Code, helping a mother find housing or a parent find housing is one of the reunification services that are supposed to be offered.
Correct.
You know how indignant people get if you suggest in a courtroom that the county should help them get housing?
They get mad.
Indignant, like, what the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. There is no such thing. They
I
tell
pay
people
for
there's no such thing.
I pay for my own rent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, Miss G, we've run out of time this evening. I want to thank you for being a guest host. I miss Miss Cassandra.
I know you love her. I know. I miss her too, and I love her. Today's her daughter's birthday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's her daughter's birthday. So
Did she tell you that somebody has a court hearing tomorrow?
She does. I know she's nervous, Davis. I told her you're in good hands. She's nervous. She can't wait to tell the people what she's gonna do. She's like, I can't wait to tell everybody on the show what Davis did. She's very excited.
Okay.
Excited and nervous at the same time.
Very good. So, thank you again for being co-host tonight. We will be on tomorrow at 7 p.m. and then we will be on Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. All times are Pacific times. All righty. Good night, Miss G.
Good night.